Google is in advanced talks to buy Groupon, the coupon website, and the numbers being thrown around anywhere from $2.5 billion to more than $3 billion would make it one of Google's biggest deals to date, possibly its second largest. The decision is expected by the end of the year. For more on what Groupon would mean to Google and to social networking, we welcome back Lou Kerner, internet analyst at Wedbush Securities and a partner at SecondShares.com, the leading research firm for private companies in social media. Lou, it's a simple question. What would Groupon mean to Google if a deal were to come together here?
Sure. Well, it means a few things. First and most importantly, what it helps bring to Google is more focus on local. Local is more than 20% of searches on Google. More than 80% of all purchases are made within 15 miles of the house. And Google is really focused on it. They introduced Google Places this year, which is a listing service for businesses. They introduced Google Local Search last month, and this month they introduced Hotpot, which is a recommendation system for local businesses like Yelp.
Now, how do you put a value on this? Groupon is private. It's no secret that private companies get valuations, but can you tell based on the research that you've done and the trends that you're watching whether in fact Groupon is worth $2.5 or in excess of $3 billion?
Well, it's hard to put an exact value on it, but what we do know is that Groupon is really killing it. If we can take a look at the growth chart showing that that it's growing extraordinarily fast from a visitor standpoint, but from
here we go. Here's the chart.
Yeah, so take a look at it. That's an Alexa chart, and growth looks like it's going to continue for a long time to come. On the revenue side of the business, it's one of the fastest growing revenue businesses in the history of mankind. Estimates are that they're generating more than $50 million a month in revenue. They're in more than 200 cities already. So this is a company that's really killing it on the local deal side. It's a whole new side of e-commerce.
And let's just make sure that those who haven't visited Groupon know what we're talking about. You go to Groupon, you sign up, and if enough people are involved, you can participate in a deal.
Right, exactly. Every day in more than 200 cities, they send out an email to every one of their members. And if the members like those deals, they're often 50, 60, 70% off at a restaurant or a spa or a tourist attraction. And virtually every single deal that they send out now, every opportunity, it gets executed on because their user base is so large.
Lou, why buy? Could Google have not built a Groupon-like site on its own? Facebook did, right?
Sure. Well, Google could build it, and they have a lot of pieces in place. But to the degree that Google wants to buy the industry leader, wants to be the industry leader, what we've seen in a lot of internet companies is that the first entrant is becomes the leader and stays the leader. And this is also about the social graph information, because increasingly search is going to be about signals from what people are doing. So this helps them populate. Google helps them populate their social graph. It's also about battling Facebook, as you mentioned, because Facebook is and Google are really battling for web supremacy today. Facebook recently introduced Facebook Places, which is a check-in mechanism, and they also married to that Facebook Deals, which is another kind of deal product to compete with Groupon and others.
Is it possible, I'm playing the skeptic here, that Google is looking at companies like Groupon and perhaps others because it has been too distracted? Transmission lines, books, the whole Street View debacle?
Well, there are a lot of things that Google is doing, right? Google's a huge company, growing rapidly. They have over $33 billion in cash sitting on their balance sheet, and it's growing by more than $3.5 billion a quarter now. So they've got a tremendous amount of cash. They've put it in some things like transmission lines, which is not something that investors, I think, want them to focus on. So taking part of that cash and buying a leader like Groupon is something that the investment community would probably like.
All right. Well, our understanding is that we're going to get a decision by the end of the year. Lou, I know we'll be talking about Google and Groupon further. Thanks for coming in to the Inside Track.